Sucker Punch's latest project, Ghost of Tsushima, has been a mystery for quite some time, but thanks to E3, we've now got a demo to dive deep on. So let's start to unravel this sweet, sweet samurai goodness. As we open, we are introduced to Jin, one of the last remaining samurai of Tsushima, who must now adapt to his new landscape and diverge from the rigid way of the samurai if he is to save what remains of his home. Something important to note about Jin is that he isn't wearing the sleek black samurai armor he was wearing in the initial reveal trailer. This is most likely due to the game taking place over a prolonged period of time, as made evident by the title that appears on the screen letting us know that it's currently the 9th day of the Mongol invasion. Whilst it's not a surprise that this story takes place over multiple days, it's nice to have confirmation. The best stories often communicate a great change in our protagonist, and a longer story allows for this change to be subtle. As Jin walks up the hill, we get a great look at what we can expect from the environmental animation. Every blade of grass is blowing in the wind. Large amounts of foliage is always impressive, but what's on display in just a moment is incredible. Further up the hill, we see that Jin is walking through a graveyard. There's even a mourning woman at one of the graves. And if you look to the lone tree, you'll see the same flautist that opened the demo at E3. This illustrates the point that Nate Fox, the game's creative director, made. This is a story that, whilst historically inaccurate, is about real people. This scene isn't littered with crying mothers beating you over the head with a message. Instead, there's just one mourning woman and a flautist. Once at the edge of this hill, not only can we see an incredible amount of dynamic foliage, but we also see the reach of the land and the damage it's taken. And those dark clouds in the distance, they're not just for show, that's dynamic weather happening in real time on a completely different section of the map. Jin then calls for his horse. I believe it's called Nobu. Interestingly enough, this isn't the same horse that Jin rode in the reveal trailer. Maybe you can change and upgrade horses, or maybe Nobu's just... No, not gonna think about that. Notice how every piece of foliage is reacting to Nobu's legs, something that is quite impressive for a game world this large. We also see wildlife. Does that mean that hunting will be a mechanic in the game? Jin doesn't have a bow at this moment, but he did in the reveal trailer, so that might be something to look forward to. Oh, I know that this is unrelated, but before I forget, this whole game can be played with Japanese voice acting and English subtitles. Now that is fan service.
Where are they? No! Bastards! Enough! Was next samurai.
The beginning of each combat encounter lets the tension build. It's about patience. Then, with one swift move, he slits his throat, and the sword even glints red in the sunlight. There seems to be parrying as well as blocking, and slow motion seems to be reserved for dodging or parrying thrusting attacks. There's also dismemberment, but it's unclear if this is just for finishing moves or not.
Jin, you're late.
During Masako's introduction, we see that characters are reflected in the puddles, something that doesn't often make the final cut, but it's cool for right now.
Now they're torturing him at the temple.
Come on.
I think now would be a good time to mention that this whole mission is a side quest. It's not even part of the main quest line. Hopefully this is a common theme throughout the side content of Ghost of Tsushima.
Down.
We could take them.
No. Remember Sago Bridge? We strike quietly. Or they kill the monk.
Is anyone else wondering where that second sword is for? Oh, never mind.
I'll guard the exits. Just get that monk.
Here we get a very brief look at traversal, which is something Sucker Punch are quite famous for. We also see that Jin has a grappling hook, an example of him adapting to the new challenges he's facing. It looks like the grapple can only be used on certain objects, such as this post that's marked by a blue ribbon.
Tsushima.
Please, I do not understand.
울다스위 참마고툰 하미 울스미 체야벤삭트 지 오벨라노 디미버리.
This stealth ability seems very reminiscent of the fear takedown in Arkham Knight. I expect there'll be conditions to prevent it from being overused and overpowered. Then we get an awesome takedown through a shoji screen. I wonder if this works both ways. If Jin approached the situation from a different angle, would enemies be able to see his shadow through the shoji screen?
He called reinforcements. We have to move.
Did she just shoot him in the eye? Not cool, Mexico, not cool.
Stand aside, Jin. You betrayed my family.
Oh, well, didn't know that, did I?
Run! If we fight, the Mongols win.
They already won.
You were my friend.
Give me the monk.
If we pause for a moment to look between Jin and Masako, you can actually see the Mongol reinforcements riding down the hill.
No.
This combat encounter hints at different stances. There's a moment when Jin lifts his sword above his head, but he doesn't attack. Maybe there are different blocking stances as well, which may be why Jin gets hit even though he's blocking. One gripe that I do have with the combat is that it looks quite stiff, and not in the cool samurai way, where they look stiff at the end of every move. So I see a problem in just the general animation, even the idle animations. It seems like there isn't enough animation coverage between attack moves. The more animations the Sucker Punch put into this game, the smoother each and every transition will be. But I do expect that this will be ironed out and that more animations are added closer to release, especially when considering how much money Sony pumps into their projects nowadays. Just a quick detail to point out, as the characters quick-step through the leaves, they swirl around them. Remember folks, side quest. That concludes this video, boys and girls. Don't hesitate to let me know what you think in the comment section below, and for the love of God, give Sucker Punch some constructive criticism. Help them make the game better. Go find them on Twitter, any way that you can. And remember to like and subscribe, but only do it if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't, let me know how I can improve. And if there's a different kind of video that you would like me to try out, let me know. I'll give it a go. Thanks for watching, boys and girls. Love you loads, and I'll see ya in the next one.